in a row and perfect landing.
Been talking to Bela Karolyi about this young lady, and she is one of Karolyi's kindergarten. Told us she's very coordinated and very aggressive.
One thing Bela instills in all his girls, from Nadia to Mary Lou, right on down the line, is their aggressive style in competition. They are so tough in competition. Cleaner layout step out. Again, a solid landing. Watch here as she moves directly into the dismount. No waiting. Round off double back.
That was something, no. Good job. Good job.
His family made the drive all the way from Houston, Texas. Their performance today in the Washington, D.C. area. Dad David, or Mom Clarice, 10-year-old sister, 7-year-old brother. Great support for that 14-year-old who is coached by Bela Karolyi.
No, good job, Kimbo. Now, on the floor, you be smart. You have to be very smart on the floor. Not easy, but not too hard. Usually you hit too hard, but the first, they're not too hard at the end. Let's try, to control it, okay? And a nice dance, okay? No, just that's it.
Bela Karolyi, the coach of Kim Zmeskal, already getting her ready for the final event of the day, the floor exercise.
And here are the other Americans from your left, Shannon Miller, Hillary Grivich, and Brandy Johnson.
And the score on the balance beam of 9.825 for Kim Zmeskal. Still the leader. Total 9 points, 9 points. An interested spectator in the stands today, three-time American Cup champion Kurt Thomas, who is ready to make a comeback. He's on his way back at the age of 33. We head over to Lance Ringnauld, fourth so far after the first 4 events. He is going to be chief competition, I would think, for Kurt Thomas. Thomas really tried to take over where Ringnauld is right now as they get together probably in the Gymnastics Championships in Denver in June.
Well, definitely, if Kurt wants to make it back, this will be one of his key competitors. And there's a key point to make right there. That first skill is a skill that has never been done before. And we'll watch another one right here. A major skill, completely changing the sport of gymnastics on parallel bars. It's a double front. Extremely difficult. Those skills weren't even thought about when Kurt was competing. Lance is working very well on the parallel bars. One of his best performances thus far today, and a double pike and a great landing.
Let's take a look at the start of parallel bars for Lance Ringnauld.
And right out of the box, Lance will show us an original move. This is all his own. It's kind of in between a Maltese and a planche. Has never been done before. And that major skill that wasn't even thought about when Kurt was competing. There's a double front re-catch on the parallel bars. Now watch this. He does this about as well as it can be done. A double pike to a near flawless landing.
Ringnauld finished second in the American Cup last year. Also second in the all-around at the U.S. Championships last year in Minneapolis.
Oh boy, and a 9.7. That looks a little bit low to me. That was an excellent effort by Lance. I'm sure he'll probably be a little bit upset with that.
Kurt Thomas on the comeback trail. In 1977, Kurt Thomas introduced what was to become his signature, the flare, a graceful move of style and power. He's since performed the flare in hundreds of cities throughout the world, but its debut was in Barcelona. Now, more than a decade later, Kurt Thomas is making a comeback with hopes of reaching Barcelona again in 1992. Kurt has included himself in a growing list of athletes who are challenging time. Mark Spitz hopes to compete in the 100-meter butterfly in Barcelona. He'll be 42. Former champ George Foreman wants the heavyweight title. He's also 42. Guy Lafleur came back after a 3-year retirement to play with the Rangers. He's 38. With the Rangers, he scored 18 goals with 27 assists and 45 points. And Kurt Thomas. He's not only defying gravity, but defying age as well. At 33, Kurt is focused on a regimen of training with his sights on an Olympic medal. An Olympic medal is about the only accolade not displayed in Kurt's trophy case. A world champion in 1978 and 1979, Kurt was one of those American heroes whose face should smile across Wheaties boxes. But with the Olympic boycott in 1980, the next step, an Olympic medal, never came to fruition. As a result of a series of injuries, but mostly the lucrative business opportunities awaiting him, Kurt retired.
I felt at that time that, you know, in a way, a lot of pressure was off me. We didn't go, we're not going, and I looked like the star that I wasn't. I looked like a gold medal winner, and I didn't even have to win. But still, there's that empty hole there, you know, from the Olympic Games. You can win all the world championships you want, but until you win the Olympics, you're not the best in the world.
Winning an Olympic medal is a great achievement for any athlete. But at age 36, it is rare indeed. In the last 3 Olympic Games, the average age of a gold medalist in Kurt's sport was 23. There are exceptions. At age 40 during the 1960 Olympics, Masao Takamoto of Japan won a gold medal. But in a sport famous for its ever-increasing degree of difficulty, Kurt will be confronted with a new generation of gymnasts.
He knows that difficulty is getting harder and harder. He needs to have difficulty and technique and probably to be most consistent, you know. For Kurt, he's so experienced, he knows what he has to do, and he's seen the rise in gymnastics. I'm sure he's very smart about the sport.
1984 Olympic gold medalist Bart Conner was Kurt's teammate in the late 70s. It was a challenge for him to keep healthy and competitive for the 84 Games. He is aware of the challenge awaiting Kurt.
Kurt would need to come back and be quite a bit better than he was 10 years ago. Now, I can see on a couple of events like pommel horse and parallel bars, I'm sure he could put together some really good exercises. But on the other 4 events, it's going to be really tough. Routines that he did about 10 years ago now would score in the low 9s. So he'll have to be a lot better than he was 10 years ago to get the 9.8s and the 9.9s and the 10s.
I'm a person that takes a challenge. You know, when people don't believe in me, that's when I turn on. I'm not the kind of person that I sit back and I think about, well, I was a great gymnast then, I'll kick back and I'll stroll into the meet and I'll be a good gymnast again. No, you have to work. You have to work at it real hard, and those people are pushing me. They're helping me. They don't even know it, and they're helping me to become a better gymnast.
Kurt's life over the last decade has taken some tough turns. 2 marriages ended in divorce, and in August of 1986, Kurt had to file for bankruptcy.
I believe that, you know, goal setting and getting some direction in my life was needed. For the last 10 years, I've been performing in my Gymnastics America show, but I haven't really had a goal. I haven't had anything out there to shoot for. And now I have this goal. I have this dream that I want to come true. And it makes things easier.
I think Kurt needs direction. He needs discipline, and he needs something to shoot for. And I think he's also interested in sort of re-injecting a little life into his career and making himself more marketable. And I think that's a big part of Kurt's motivation. And you know, he's hoping to do it with this.
If Kurt is hoping to advertise, his first commercial will be a low-budget one. His first meet will be in May, a regional qualifier in Ohio. But if his year proceeds according to plan, Kurt will capitalize at the U.S. Championships in June. He hopes to place on top to qualify him for the Goodwill Games. Then Kurt will be back in the thick of things.
You know, I miss that competition. I miss the crowd there, the electricity from the crowd, the feedback. I miss the challenge of performing and getting myself into that one great physical condition and being able to show that off. Because I'm a performer. I'm a show-off. That's what I do.
Natalia Kalinina from the Soviet Union, ready to take on the beam.
And she needs a 9.95 to take over the lead from Kim Zmeskal. That's a tall order on this event. But watch the mount. Down off back handspring. She usually tumbles out of that. Smart move to play it a little bit safer here, because she has plenty of difficulty in the latter part of her routine. Look at that. Full twisting back handspring swing down. Elena Shushanova first did that in the 1988 Olympic Games. Such a difficult move. One of the special requirements is to lead